In the heart of a vibrant village, nestled between rolling hills and a winding river, lived a wealthy farmer named Adewale. He owned the largest corn farm in Okwukwe and he was the richest farmer in the entire village. But Adewale's greatest treasure was his gentle and kind wife, Nneka. She was as beautiful as the sunrise and her heart was as pure as the river's spring water. Their home was filled with laughter, great meals and love, and they were expecting their first child, a child Adewale had long prayed for. One fateful market day, Adewale's eyes were captured by a woman named Zaina. She was a stranger to the village, with a beauty as striking as a bolt of lightning but a heart as cold as a stone. She saw Adewale's wealth and decided he was the man she wanted. Zaina spun tales of a world beyond the village, filled with riches and adventures Adewale had never imagined. She promised him a life of constant excitement, a life that Nneka, with her quiet love and simple ways, could not provide. Blinded by Zaina's allure and promises, Adewale's heart grew cold toward Nneka. He began to spend his days with Zaina, neglecting his wife and his home. He enjoyed her company and never took time off from her heart or her body. He was always there with Zaina living in love fantasies. Nneka, with a heavy heart and a belly growing round with his child, watched him from a distance. She never uttered a word of complaint, her silent tears her only companions. One day, Adewale returned home and out of blue started screaming at Nneka, complaining about her every move and no longer seeing her beauty or her love. Only Zaina now truly lives in his heart. Nneka was surprised but never took it to heart. He scolded her at every slight mistake and changed completely towards her. Nneka now saw her home and peace has fun gone but she was only quiet and sad. Adewale walked coldly to Nneka while she was cooking and told her he was no longer interested in her and he was leaving. That he was going to start a new life with Zaina. Nneka's world crumbled, but she simply nodded, her voice lost to a silent scream. Adewale and Zaina left the village for the city. They were very excited, especially Adewale. He felt Nneka was a bondage. Adewale and Zaina lived in the beautiful city together happily. He rented a very beautiful apartment where their love affair and caresses continued. Their lives was beautiful together. They attended very high-end parties, dancing to every music and living in constant enjoyment. Zaina and Adewale never stayed a day without going for a party and showing everyone they were the best dancing couple, Adewale holding her waist tight and she shakes it happily as the music goes. Some weeks later, Nneka had given birth to a beautiful baby boy. She waited in tears for Adewale's return but she was all alone and never saw a sight of him. But as the seasons changed, she realized he was not coming back. She took her belongings, took her child, and left the village to start a new life. Few months later, Adewale saw himself roaming the streets of the city hungry and poor. His life was no longer the paradise Zaina had promised. He now realized she had spent all his wealth on lavish parties, clothes and jewelries. Zaina was nowhere to be found anymore. He went back home to the village but his house was empty. He cried but no one came to console him. He realized that the life he had abandoned was the real treasure. He learned the hard way that true wealth is not in gold or land, but in the love of a good woman, and that once you break a beautiful pot, you can never put it back together again.